Tonight, you do not need to solve the universe. You do not need to understand infinity. You do not need to remember theories, equations, or names. You do not need to follow every possibility to its end. You only need to rest here for a while, beneath the quiet idea that reality may be larger than we ever imagined. Outside your room, the night is already doing what night has always done. It is lowering the brightness of things, softening edges, letting distant sounds become gentler, letting the world feel a little less immediate, a little less demanding, and somewhere above that darkened world, above clouds, above cities, above mountains, above the familiar turning of our own small planet, there is the sky, vast, silent, patient. For most of human history, that sky has been enough to inspire wonder, a scattered field of stars, a pale moon, a darkness that seemed endless. But tonight we are going a little farther than that, not in a loud way, not in a dramatic way, only in the slow way that bedtime thoughts drift outward when the day is done. Tonight's journey begins with a very gentle possibility, that our universe may not be the only one, that what we call everything may be only one room in a much larger house, one bubble in a larger sea, one page in a book too vast to hold, one note in a song that never truly ends. And if that sounds too large, too distant, too strange, you can let it stay distant. You do not have to chase it. You do not have to prove it. You do not have to make it fit neatly inside the mind. You can simply let it open above you like a calm horizon. There is something soothing about that, something deeply restful. Because the multiverse, when approached gently, is not really a story about confusion. It is a story about spaciousness, a story that says reality may be wider than our worries, longer than our schedules, stranger than our fears, and more generous than our understanding. So let your breathing slow now. Let the bed hold your weight. Let the room grow a little quieter, far beyond the edges of the known universe, beyond the galaxies we can map, beyond the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, beyond even the last places where our instruments can meaningfully look. There may be other worlds, not other planets, not even only other galaxies, other universes, whole realities with their own skies, their own histories, their own stars, their own ways of being. Some may look almost like ours. Some may be unrecognizable. Some may be empty. Some may be full. Some may never hold life at all. And some, perhaps, may hold forms of life so strange and beautiful that our language would fail before it ever truly began. But tonight, you are not being asked to grasp any of that all at once. Tonight, the multiverse is only a place to drift through, a place of quiet possibilities, a place where black holes may be cradles, where time may fold differently, where stars may burn in colors no human eye has ever seen, where other versions of you may live other lives under other skies. And yet, even as we wander there, we will keep returning here, to this breath, to this bed, to this safe and ordinary room, to this one universe that, for tonight, is more than enough. Because that is the secret of a good sleep story. It lets the mind travel far away, but never lose the path home. So if you are ready, in that soft way that does not require effort, let us begin with the gentlest thought of all. Somewhere, perhaps unimaginably far away, there may be another version of you. Not as a ghost, not as a memory, not as a dream, as a real person, in a real universe, beneath a real night sky. Maybe that other you is almost identical. Maybe they have lived nearly the same life. Maybe they know the same streets, the same kind of weather, the same shape of loneliness, the same small comforts. Maybe they are also lying still, listening to a voice in the dark, feeling the day slip away. And maybe they are not quite the same. Maybe one tiny thing changed, a different choice, a different train taken years ago, a different friend met by chance, a sentence spoken or not spoken, a door opened, a door left closed. The multiverse loves small differences. It whispers that reality may branch quietly, that every path not taken may still unfurl somewhere else. That possibility is not always erased when one outcome appears. Sometimes it may simply continue beyond our reach. There is something tender in that idea, that the universe, or all universes together, might be so spacious that nothing possible needs to vanish completely, that every almost, every maybe, every nearly could still have a home. Quantum theory gives one version of this thought in one interpretation. Tiny events do not collapse into a single fixed outcome in quite the way common sense would like them to. Instead, all outcomes may continue, each in its own branch, each in its own world, each in its own quietly separating thread of reality. If that were true, then every choice, every coin toss, every microscopic uncertainty would not eliminate the roads untaken. It would preserve them. Somewhere, in one universe, you turned left. In another, you turned right. In one, you stayed. In another, you left. In one, your life bent one way. In another, it bent another. And none of those versions would ever meet. They would move apart in silence, each believing itself to be the single thread, each carrying its own ordinary days, its own weather, its own late nights and early mornings. It sounds dizzying at first, but if you let the sharpness fall away, it becomes almost comforting. Because it means reality is not stingy. It means possibility is not necessarily destroyed by choice. It means the great fabric of existence may be wide enough to hold more than one answer at once. And yet, for all that vast branching, this version of you still matters. This life, this breath, this quiet, this night, the multiverse does not make you less real. It makes reality larger, and in a strange way, that makes this moment feel more precious, not less. Because even if other versions exist, only this one is here now. Only this one gets to feel this pillow, this air, this small drifting calm. If there are many worlds, then this one still belongs to you tonight. And if the mind begins to wander too far, you can let it rest for a moment in a simpler image. An infinite sea, not of water, but of space. And in that sea, worlds rising like bubbles, each bubble a universe, each universe a whole reality, each reality carrying its own laws, its own stars, its own deep unfolding story. Some physicists imagine something like this, that what we call our universe may have begun as one expanding bubble in a much larger field. That inflation, the rapid swelling of early space, may not have happened only once. It may happen again and again in different places, endlessly. A cosmic foam, a quiet froth of realities. If so, universes may be born the way bubbles form on the surface of a vast hidden sea. A swelling, a boundary, an interior, a beginning, each one moving outward from its own hot birth, each one cooling into structure, each one making room for galaxies, or perhaps not, each one telling a different story simply because its starting conditions were different by the smallest amount. And sometimes, perhaps, those bubbles may come close, close enough to brush, close enough to leave a faint mark on one another, a bruise in the background glow of the cosmos, a whisper in ancient radiation. Scientists have searched for such marks, not dramatic tears in the sky, but subtle patterns, soft irregularities, faint hints that our bubble may once have touched another. So far, nothing is certain, but uncertainty is allowed here. It always has been. This is not a courtroom. It is not a lecture hall. It is a quiet room at night, and the mind is free to hold possibilities gently. Imagine, then, Our universe long ago, still young, still hot, still smooth and bright, and somewhere beyond the edge of everything we can now observe, another young universe drifting near, the two almost touching, leaving only the smallest trace of contact. A cosmic memory too faint to easily read. There is something beautiful about that. A universe bearing, in its oldest light, the possibility of a neighbor. And perhaps black holes belong to this same soft family of beginnings, disguised as endings. To us, black holes look final, dark, hungry, silent, places where matter disappears past a boundary from which no light returns. But some ideas in physics suggest something far stranger, that a black hole may not be only an end. It may be a beginning from the inside, a gateway, a hidden rebound, a region where collapse becomes creation. Picture a massive star dying, its core falling inward under the crushing force of gravity. Matter pressed beyond ordinary imagination, density rising, space curving, light trapped, a black hole forming in our universe. From the outside, it looks like loss, but from another perspective, perhaps inside a sealed and hidden space, something else may happen. A new expansion, a new burst, a new room of reality, opening where ours can never look. If that were true, then every black hole might be the seed of another universe, a quiet nursery concealed behind darkness, and our own universe, perhaps may have begun in just such a way, not as the absolute beginning of all things, but as the interior bloom of a black hole in some older parent cosmos. This is one of the loveliest multiverse thoughts, that the darkest things may be doorways, that what looks like a grave from one side may be a cradle from another. That reality renews itself in hidden chambers we cannot enter. The mind need not decide whether to believe it. It is enough to feel the softness of the image. A black circle in deep space, still, silent, and behind that silence, an entire newborn cosmos unfolding into stars. If universes can give birth to universes, then the multiverse becomes less like a collection and more like a family, a branching tree, a generative ocean, a quiet, endless flowering. And if that is too large, we can rest for a moment here, in this one universe, where the bed is still beneath you, where your breathing is still slow, where nothing needs to open except the space inside the mind. Now consider another possibility, that different universes may not simply have different histories. They may have different laws. In our universe, gravity pulls. Light has a particular speed. Electrons have a particular charge. Atoms behave in familiar ways. Stars ignite. Chemistry works. Space stretches. Time flows. The rules feel stable enough that we can build science on them. And science, in turn, can build bridges and telescopes and quiet confidence. But in the multiverse, those rules may not be universal. They may vary from world to world, a little stronger here, a little weaker there, a different setting of the dials, a different recipe at the beginning. This changes everything. If gravity was slightly stronger, matter might collapse too quickly. Stars might burn differently. Galaxies might form in other shapes, or not at all. If the electron's charge were different, chemistry might fail. Atoms might not hold. Molecules might never form. No water, no air, no soft carbon chains drifting slowly toward life. Our universe sometimes feels inevitable because it is the only one we know. But the multiverse suggests something else, that the universe we inhabit may be one successful tuning among many attempts. One arrangement in which complexity happened to be possible. One rare balance in which stars, oceans, cells, languages, dreams, and sleepy human nights could exist. Some people hear that and feel small, but there is another way to hear it. You might hear gratitude, because this universe, with all its ordinary constants and quiet familiarities, suddenly becomes more precious when imagined against the background of countless other possibilities. A universe where chemistry works is not trivial. A universe with long-lived stars is not ordinary. A universe with matter, structure, and time enough for life to emerge is something like a gift. And tonight, you are resting inside that gift. The pillow beneath your head exists because of those laws. The air moving in and out of your lungs exists because of those laws. The warmth of your body, the slowness of sleep approaching, the simple persistence of your own life, all of it depends on a universe that allowed itself to be livable. The multiverse makes this world feel rare in a very gentle way, not to frighten you, only to remind you that being here is already astonishing. There are more ways for a universe to be empty than full, more ways for it to be sterile than fertile, more ways for it to fail than to flower. And yet this one flowered. So as we drift outward again, carry that softness with you. This universe may be one among many, but it is the one that made room for you. Now let us move farther into space itself, not just different universes with different histories, but different spaces altogether. We live in 3 dimensions of space: length, width, height. It feels complete because it is all we have ever known. We move left and right, forward and back, up and down. We build our houses there. We walk our streets there. We dream our dreams there. But some theories suggest that reality may be built from more dimensions than these. Perhaps 10, perhaps 11, perhaps more in some deeper mathematical sense. Most of those dimensions, if they exist, may be hidden from us, curled so tightly into the fabric of reality that we never notice them. Imagine that, extra directions folded up inside the world. Invisible pathways, smaller than atoms, secret corridors in the architecture of existence. To beings like us, the universe feels open enough already. But the multiverse whispers that space itself may be layered, that what we call reality may have additional depths tucked into it like folds in cloth, or curled petals in a flower too small to see. In another universe, perhaps those dimensions are not hidden. Perhaps beings there move through more directions than we can imagine. What would that feel like? To step not only left or right, but along an axis our minds cannot picture. To enter rooms detached from ours, though only a hair's breadth away, in some higher geometry. To see our own 3-dimensional world as a flattened slice of something much richer. We cannot really imagine it. Not fully, but we can feel its mood. A sense that reality may be roomier than our senses allow. And there are other spatial possibilities too. A universe with only 2 dimensions. Flat, paper thin, a cosmos like an endless page. Creatures there, if they could exist at all, would move only across surfaces. Never above or below. Their geometry would be completely different. Their stars, if they had them, would not be our stars. Their atoms, if such things could exist there, would not quite be ours. Or perhaps a universe with many more dimensions wide open at once. A reality full of shapes too strange to name. Knots and turns and structures our minds could never hold together. Worlds within directions we cannot picture. Some universes may be vast beyond our scale. Others may be tiny in a way that changes the meaning of size. Entire galaxies no bigger than grains of dust relative to some higher cosmos. Or our own universe, perhaps, microscopic from another perspective. The multiverse makes scale feel playful. What is large? What is small? What is near? What is far? Those words may only make sense locally. Only here, only in this universe, in this body, on this particular night. And if this growing strangeness begins to blur at the edges, let it blur. You do not need sharp understanding, only a gentle drift. You may think now of brains, of our universe as a vast membrane floating in a higher dimensional space. Not alone, never alone. Other brains drifting nearby, carrying other universes, sometimes close, sometimes unimaginably far, sometimes perhaps colliding. In that picture, a Big Bang is not the beginning of everything. It is the bright result of contact, a collision, a brushing together of great cosmic sheets in a deeper sea. That thought turns creation into rhythm. Not one miracle, but perhaps many. Not a single beginning, but repeated emergences. A multiverse not frozen, but moving, not static, but gently alive. And still, for all this depth and structure, here you are, in a room, in a body, in a soft, ordinary gravity, held by this one familiar layer of reality. We can stay here a moment and breathe. Now let us drift into time. Time is so constant to us that it seems almost invisible. A background flow, the quiet stream carrying in everything from what has happened into what is happening, and then onward into what will happen next. We live inside it so completely that it is hard to imagine anything else. But some universes may not have time as we do, perhaps no flowing time at all. No before, no after, no sequence, no unfolding, just an eternal state of being. To us, that sounds impossible. How could anything happen if time did not pass? How could there be movement, change, growth, memory, story? Perhaps there could not. Perhaps such a universe would be a still photograph in the deep gallery of the multiverse. Whole, complete, frozen, not dead exactly, just unchanging. And yet mathematics sometimes permits such things. Static realities, structures that simply are, without becoming. If there were awareness in such a universe, it might not feel like awareness to us. It might not think in sequence, might not remember, might not anticipate. It might exist all at once, held in a timeless shape. There's a profound stillness in that idea, a universe beyond clocks, beyond waiting, beyond the long tiredness of days. Other universes may have more than one dimension of time. Not one arrow, but many directions. A being there might move sideways through time, the way we move across a room. Might treat alternate futures as neighboring streets. Might step between histories. Might know causality in a completely different way. It is one of the strangest possibilities in all the multiverse, and perhaps one of the dreamiest, because dreams, too, ignore the usual order of time. They jump, they fold, they place childhood and tomorrow in the same room. They allow impossible sequences to feel natural until waking. A universe with multiple time dimensions would be almost like that, a place where past and future are less rigid, where history is not a line, but a landscape. And then there are universes where the arrow of time points differently, where entropy, the slow movement from order to disorder, may run in reverse. In such a world, broken things might come together. Scattered particles might arrange themselves. Heat might gather instead of dissipate. The whole cosmos might trend toward order rather than away from it. To us, it would look like film played backward. But to inhabitants there, perhaps it would feel ordinary. Their mornings would still be mornings. Their seasons would still unfold. Their sense of life would be grounded in that reversed flow, the way ours is grounded in ours. The multiverse keeps offering this lesson gently, that what feels inevitable to us may be local. Time's direction, space's dimensions, the speed of light, the existence of chemistry, all of it may be provincial in the grandest sense. Beautifully, intimately provincial. Some universes may not stretch forward only once. They may cycle, expand, slow, collapse, and bloom again. A cosmic breath, in and out, birth and death, expansion and return. There is deep comfort in that image, a universe that does not simply end, but renews, a cosmos that lives in rhythm rather than in one long line, an existence closer to breathing than to breaking. You can feel why this belongs in a bedtime story. It takes the harsh edge off finality. It turns endings into pauses. It turns collapse into preparation. It lets the universe rest before beginning once more. And if the mind grows quiet enough, even our own life begins to feel gentler in the presence of such rhythms. Wake and sleep, breath in and breath out, day and night, tension and release. Perhaps, in some very soft way, we already know what a cyclical cosmos would feel like. Perhaps we carry a little of it inside us. Now let the skies change. Our universe is full of stars, bright stars, red stars, blue stars, old stars, young stars, stars massive and brief, stars small and patient. Our night has structure because starlight exists, but not every universe must have stars. A slight shift in laws, a weaker pull of gravity, a different balance in matter and energy, and the clouds of gas that formed our suns may never ignite. No fusion, no dawn burning inside the dark, no galaxies lit from within. Such a universe would be full of silence, not emotional silence, astronomical silence, a wide, cold place where matter drifts but never catches fire. It sounds lonely, perhaps, but also strangely peaceful. A universe of endless dark, no sunrise, no constellations, no familiar lanterns in the void, only structureless night. If there were life there, it would know darkness more deeply than we can imagine. If there were no life, the universe would still exist with perfect indifference, unfolding according to its own calm rules. Other universes might have stars, but not stars like ours. Some might burn dimly in ranges of light invisible to human eyes. Cold stars, dark stars, stars giving off energy in forms we would never call sunshine. To us, their skies might seem empty, while to inhabitants there, the heavens would be brilliantly alive. There may be universes where starlight comes in colors no earthly language can name, not because the colors are merely new combinations, but because the laws of perception and radiation themselves are different. Light might arrive in ranges outside anything human biology evolved to detect. Skies there may glow with alien rainbows. Dawns may shimmer in impossible hues. Nebulae may bloom in tones more subtle or more intense than our eyes could endure. Think of that for a moment. Not just other worlds, other color. A star no human could truly see, a sky no human word could hold, a sunset that belongs to another set of laws entirely. And then there are universes where stars are too large, so immense that they dwarf what we call galaxies, great singular fires, shaping entire realms. Or universes where stars burn far too quickly, millions of years instead of billions, brilliant, violent, brief, a cosmos of fireworks without patience, too little time for life to slowly find itself. And on the opposite end, stars may live for trillions of years. Steady, gentle, lasting so long that civilizations there might grow older than our imagination can comfortably hold. Worlds bathed in stable light for ages beyond ages. A quiet abundance of time. The multiverse is full of these possibilities. Restless stars, patient stars, invisible stars, no stars at all. And yet tonight, above this world, the stars of this universe remain enough. Whatever weather lies between you and them, they are there, burning in the old familiar way, not forever, but long enough. Now let us go still deeper, into matter itself. Matter feels obvious when one is lying in bed. The blanket has weight. The mattress has softness. The body has shape. The room has objects. Matter is what lets the world feel solid. But some universes may never form matter at all, not in the stable, ordinary sense we know. Only energy, only radiation, only streaming motion without lasting structure. A world full of brightness, perhaps, but no atoms settling into anything that could be touched. No stone, no bone, no leaf, no skin. Other universes may have matter, but no chemistry, particles drifting forever without binding. No molecules, no water, no atmosphere, no living cells assembling their quiet miracles. And some may have chemistry, but no planets, stars blazing alone in the dark, with nothing to circle them. No surfaces, no oceans, no places where wind could move across a world. This is one of the soft truths the multiverse offers. That structure is fragile, that our familiar world depends on many layers of success. Matter first, then atoms, then chemistry, then stars, then planets, then long patience, then, perhaps, life. Take away any one piece, and the story changes completely. Other universes may be made mostly of antimatter. Galaxies built from opposite stuff, antimatter stars, antimatter planets, antimatter beings. Perhaps, looking up into antimatter skies and wondering if somewhere else there are creatures made of something opposite to them. To such beings, their world would feel ordinary, stable, real, as ours does to us. The multiverse keeps turning the familiar inside out like that, showing us that even the most basic ingredients of reality may be choices among many. There may be universes dominated by dark matter, not the faint invisible scaffolding it seems to be here, but the main character, the ruling substance, shaping everything openly, perhaps even glowing. In some realities, in ways our universe does not allow. Dark matter skies, dark matter halos shining with beauty inaccessible to us, or universes where dark matter never existed at all. Galaxies struggling to form, structures thinner, stars lonelier. The night less woven, less held together. We live in one balanced arrangement among many. That is the hush behind all these thoughts. And then there is life. Life, perhaps the most tender variable of all. Some universes may be forever sterile. Matter in stars and planets may exist, but the chemistry of living things never rises. No cells, no eyes, no sleep, no questions, no one to look into the sky and wonder. Entire beautiful universes may remain unobserved. Light crossing silence with no witness, galaxies wheeling in perfect loneliness. A grand performance before an empty theater. But other universes may allow life in forms we would never recognize. Not flesh and blood, not lungs and skin. Perhaps life in plasma clouds, in magnetic structures, in quantum networks, in enormous drifting things that live in interstellar space itself, feeding on radiation, the way earthly plants feed on sunlight. Some lives may be microscopic. Some may stretch across light years. Some may be slow as geology. Some quick as sparks. Some may live in stars. Some in seas of liquid helium. Some in matter stranger than anything on our periodic table. The multiverse expands the meaning of life until the word itself becomes humble. What we know may be only one local style of living. One narrow answer, one beautiful provincial answer in a much wider conversation. And if all this begins to feel too abstract, too airy, let it settle in a simpler feeling. Somewhere, life may be impossible. Somewhere, life may be unimaginable. And here, in this universe, life is simply happening. Your heart is beating, your lungs are working, your body is softening towards sleep. That too is miraculous enough. Now think about connection. Our universe is large, and yet things touch. Light travels, Gravity reaches, particles interact, planets orbit stars, galaxies gather, voices cross rooms, hands reach for one another. Distance exists, but not complete isolation. Some universes may be even more connected than ours, filled with wormholes, those hypothetical tunnels through space and time, cosmic shortcuts woven through reality like roads through a forest. A universe where the vastness of space is full of hidden passageways, where civilizations might step between stars almost instantly, where distance loses some of its loneliness. Imagine such a cosmos, not a cold emptiness, but a woven fabric, a place of crossings, a place where remoteness can be folded, where the sky is less a void and more a living network. And now imagine the opposite, a universe sealed in absolute isolation, no shortcuts, no overlap, perhaps no meaningful interaction across great distances at all. Regions of reality forever cut off from one another. Perhaps particles themselves unable to share much beyond their tiny local corner. A universe of islands, or even smaller than islands, a universe of solitary grains. Life there, if it existed, would know loneliness differently, would not imagine a connected whole because no connected whole would be available. Each region complete and unreachable, each silence final. Other universes may touch at the edges, leaking matter, exchanging energy, bleeding softly into one another, not completely separate bubbles, but semi-permeable realities in a deeper sea. This is another lovely multiverse thought, that universes may not all be strangers, some may brush shoulders, some may share faint traces, some may feed one another in ways too subtle for us to see. If our universe has neighbors, perhaps their presence appears only as mysteries, a strange fluctuation, an unexplained burst, a pattern out of place, a tiny whisper from another room. Again, none of this needs certainty tonight, only atmosphere. The mind is allowed to float among possibilities, like a boat in dark water. No maps required, only gentle motion. Now, let us widen the scale once more. If universes can differ so much, then civilizations within them may differ beyond imagination as well. Some universes may produce life early, very early, before our own universe had even formed its present structures. Civilizations there might be billions, or even trillions of years older than ours, ancient beyond any myth, patient beyond any empire, possessing forms of knowledge so deep that what we call mystery may feel to them like childhood weather. Such beings, if they exist, may understand realities we cannot name. They may have charted the multiverse like cartographers chart a sea. They may move between cosmic structures the way birds move between trees. Or perhaps they remain quietly rooted in their own world, uninterested in us, too old for conquest, too wise for noise. It is humbling to imagine them, but the humility is not cruel. It is soft, like standing beneath a huge sky, and realizing the sky does not need to be conquered to be beautiful. Other universes may never make it that far. They may end before life begins, collapse too quickly, expand too thinly, burn too briefly, remain too empty. They flicker into being and disappear like sparks in a vast, dark field. This too belongs to the multiverse. Not every possibility flowers. Some only flare. Some remain unfinished. Some are beginnings without continuation. There is a quiet sadness there, but also a kind of tenderness, because it makes endurance feel precious. It makes duration feel kind. It makes this long, steady universe of ours feel hospitable, in a way it might otherwise not. Here stars lasted. Here chemistry held. Here planets formed. Here life had time. Here awareness arose. Here one small human being can lie in a bed and listen to thoughts about other worlds. That is not small at all. Now we come to one of the largest and gentlest questions of the whole story. Is the multiverse real? Or is it only a horizon of thought? A mathematical echo? A story our best theories whisper, but may never allow us to prove? Science is careful, and rightly so. A good scientist does not simply fall in love with an idea because it is beautiful. Beauty is not enough. Evidence matters. Testability matters. Observation matters. And this is where the multiverse becomes especially delicate. Many of the ideas we have wandered through tonight arise naturally from serious theories. Inflation, quantum mechanics, string theory, black hole cosmology, Brana models. They do not invent the multiverse as fantasy alone. They encounter it as consequence, as suggestion, as possibility. But whether those possibilities correspond to realities we can ever confirm is another matter. Perhaps one day there will be stronger evidence, a pattern in ancient radiation, a theoretical breakthrough, a surprising observation, a better understanding of what our equations truly mean. Or perhaps the multiverse will remain just beyond reach forever. Not false, not true in any ordinary practical sense, only hidden. A thought at the edge of science, a horizon that keeps us humble. And perhaps that is enough. There is a place in human thought for horizons, for things that remind us the universe is not finished, simply because our understanding pauses, for questions that keep wonder alive without demanding immediate closure. You do not need a verdict tonight. This is not the hour for verdicts. It is the hour for soft wondering, and in that spirit, infinity itself begins to feel different. Infinity is often treated as frightening, too much, too large, too impossible. But there is another way to feel it. Infinity can be spacious. It can mean that reality is not cramped, that there is room for every possibility, room for lost roads, room for beginnings hidden inside endings, room for stars we cannot see, room for universes empty and universes full, room for silence, room for strangeness, room for this little life of yours to exist without needing to be all of existence in order to matter. Infinity, held gently, is not a threat. It is relief. It says the cosmos is not a box. It says mystery is not running out. It says what you do not understand does not have to be reduced before it can be held peacefully in the mind. So, if the word infinity has ever felt sharp, let it soften now. Let it become a dark ocean under moonlight, wide, yes, endless, perhaps but calm. And now, after all these other worlds, let us return. Return to this room. Return to this body. Return to this one universe. Because for all the wonder of the multiverse, this universe is already extraordinary. It is the place where your life happened. The place where rain falls, and tea cools, and people wait at bus stops and cats, sleep in windows, and late night thoughts drift toward sleep. The place with oceans, clouds, music, language, summer air, old books, glass of water by the bed, the slow weight of blankets, the very ordinary mercy of rest. The multiverse may contain other versions of these things, or stranger things, or emptier things. But tonight, you do not need any universe but this one. This one already contains enough mystery, enough beauty, enough vastness, enough smallness, enough gentleness. The stars of this universe are enough. The laws of this universe are enough. The silence of this room is enough. Your breathing is enough. If there are other worlds, they can continue without your attention for a while. They do not need you to watch over them. They do not need you to choose. Among them, they do not need you to understand their dimensions, or their laws, or their impossible skies. They can drift on without you. Bubble universes can expand. Black holes can cradle hidden births. Other selves can walk their untaken roads. Stars can burn in unseen colors. Dark matter can sculpt invisible galaxies. Timeless worlds can remain still. Wormhole worlds can connect their distant cities. Stereo universes can glow alone. And this one, this good ordinary one, can carry you towards sleep. So let the images blur now. Let the cosmic ocean blur. Let the branching roads blur. Let the black holes soften into dark circles in a quiet sky. Let the brains drift away like sheets in deep water. Let the strange stars dim. Let the impossible colors fade. Let the older civilizations recede into dignified silence. Let the empty universes remain empty, far beyond concern. Let all other realities become distant enough to be beautiful and gentle enough to let go. Come back now to the simplest things. The feeling of the bed beneath you, the air against your skin, the darkness in the room, the slow rhythm of your breathing. You are here, in this universe, on this night, safe enough to rest. That may be the loveliest conclusion the multiverse can offer. Not that everything is solved, not that every horizon is crossed, not that every question is answered, only this, that here, in this one world among many possible worlds, you are allowed to stop for a while. You are allowed to be small beneath a large sky, allowed to not know, allowed to drift, allowed to sleep, and perhaps in the end, that is what makes the multiverse such a gentle bedtime thought. It makes the universe larger without making you less. It surrounds your life with wonder without taking away its warmth. It turns uncertainty into atmosphere. It lets reality keep its secrets and still feel kind. Though the night may deepen now, let the last edges of thought loosen. Imagine once more the sky above the known universe. Dark, patient, endless, not empty perhaps, but full of rooms we will never need to enter tonight. Imagine another you somewhere very far away, also resting. Imagine bubble worlds drifting like lanterns on a black sea. Imagine black holes holding hidden dawns. Imagine universes with no stars, and universes with 10,000 impossible suns. Imagine time folding in some places and standing still in others. Imagine all of it receding gently into distance, and then let go. You do not have to travel there. You do not have to follow. You do not have to choose. The multiverse can wait. For now, there is this room, this bed, this breath, this night. This universe is enough for tonight. This universe, with its familiar gravity, its slow-turning planet, its patient moon, its old starlight crossing the dark, its chemistry that allowed your body to exist, its long history that led to this moment of quiet, its simple permission to rest. So rest. Let your thoughts become soft and wide. Let the other worlds drift outward. Let the mind stop reaching. Let sleep come the way universe expands in silence, gently and without effort. Here, in this universe, you are safe. Here, in this universe, nothing more is required. Here, in this universe, the stars can keep their distance. The mysteries can remain mysteries, and the night can simply hold you. And as sleep gathers now, let everything vast become gentle. Let everything gentle become distant. Let everything distant become dark, and still, and kind. The other selves can drift away. The bubble worlds can drift away. The black holes can drift away. The impossible dimensions can drift away. The silent galaxies can drift away. The ancient civilizations can drift away. The questions can drift away. Only the quiet remains. Only the breath remains. Only this small, safe corner of reality remains. And that is enough. So let the universe grow wide around you. Let the mind grow light inside you. Let the body grow heavy beneath you. And far above, beyond all known horizons, Let the other worlds continue their patient unfolding without you. Tonight, you may sleep here, in this room, in this body, in this universe, safe, still, and drifting.